Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. He wiped out 50% of all living creatures.
The first trailer for Avengers 4, officially titled Avengers Endgame, is finally here! So let's break down the new trailer scene by scene and see what we can find, from costume changes to long-awaited returns. Here's everything we learned from our first look at Avengers Endgame. The first scene is appropriately bleak. We see Tony Stark being adrift in space with no food, no water, and oxygen that's about to run out completely. He's recording a heartbreaking message to Pepper on the remains of his Iron Man helmet, which looks like it's also on its last legs. If you remember from Infinity War, Tony's suit is now made up of nanobots. This means he's likely been using parts of his suit to form or reform necessary components of the ship or systems within it, meaning he's probably only got enough left to build that much of his armor. Notably, Tony seems to be completely on his own. When Thanos snapped, he and Nebula were the only two people on Titan who didn't crumble into dust. We see a moment later in the trailer that makes it look like Nebula was on board the ship as well, which makes Tony's apparent isolation even stranger. Is she still around? And if not, where did she go? Also, it looks like Tony is in the Milano, the Guardians ship which brought them to Titan in the first place. If you couldn't already tell from Infinity War's final shot, Thanos was completely serious about living a quiet life somewhere in the galaxy as a farmer. So serious, in fact, that he's turned his gold armor into a scarecrow. It would probably be kind of cool if it weren't so insulting to all the lives that were lost. We have no real confirmation on this yet, but Bruce Banner seems to be studying a screen displaying portraits of the missing. Scott Lang, who we last saw in the Quantum Realm in the post-credits of Ant-Man and the Wasp, is shown next to Shuri's portrait, possibly implying that she too has yet to be found. Her portrait swaps out for Peter Parker midway through the scene, who would also be counted as MIA, according to the Earth-based team. We didn't actually see what happened to Shuri at the end of Infinity War, but it's looking like it wasn't great. Despite being the one Avenger around who is capable of autonomous interstellar transport thanks to his fancy new Bifrost-enabled axe Stormbreaker, Thor seems to have decided to stay on Earth. But he looks pretty pissed about it. We can't tell exactly where Thor is. The framing almost makes it look like he's being held in some sort of cell, but his civilian clothing makes it seem like at least a little time has passed since the fight and he's stuck around. Oh hey, it's Hawkeye! Clint Barton was notably absent from Infinity War, but where was he? What was he doing? Why wasn't he with the team? The answer apparently was Japan, and because he was crafting a new identity for himself. That identity is Ronin, a codename Clint picked up for a time in the comics that we've been expecting since leaked set photos showcased Jeremy Renner in a new costume last year. Ronin is less an archer than he is a sort of proto-samurai who uses swords more frequently than bows. We don't know what prompted Clint's change of heart, but judging by Nat's face when she sees him, it's coming as a surprise to everyone. Stranger still, he seems to have been fighting a group of people when Nat tracks him down. But who, after half the Earth's population was dusted, is left to fight in the streets of Tokyo? Here's Steve wearing his Winter Soldier-era stealth suit again. We may be mourning the loss of Steve's beard, but Captain America fans can celebrate the return of the fan-favorite blue and silver stealth suit as a consolation prize. Of course, this isn't the only bit of costuming making a return for Steve. He apparently kept his World War II-era compass complete with Peggy Carter's photo in it all this time. While this isn't surprising, it does cast a potentially interesting light on the rumored inclusion of time travel in the movie, and the shot does look suspiciously similar to the moments in Captain America the First Avenger just before Steve sent the Valkyrie into the ocean. Steve and Natasha are doing what they can to pull things together on Earth, and that has apparently involved coming up with a plan that, in Steve's words,
"This is gonna work, Steve."
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm gonna do if it doesn't.
We don't know enough about the plan itself to make any real guesses, but it is worth noting that the other survivors of the snap seem to be suspiciously absent from the proceedings. Notably Okoye, Rhodey, and Rocket, who were all in Wakanda when everything went south. At the end of the trailer, Scott Lang shows up at the Avengers compound asking to be buzzed in. But as you may remember from Ant-Man and the Wasp's post-credits, Scott was sent into the Quantum Realm just moments before the snap dusted Hope, Hank Pym, and Janet Van Dyne. We assumed that this would leave Scott stranded in the Quantum Realm, much like Janet had been, but apparently that isn't the case. How exactly did Scott manage to get himself out of the Quantum Realm? Did he have help, or was he truly on his own? And be sure to subscribe to GameSpot Universe because we have a ton of Avengers Endgame videos coming your way, starting with what the hell is going on with Hawkeye? The Endgame trailer gave us a lot more questions than answers, but it's not all doom and gloom. Let us know what you thought about the Avengers trailer in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter at chastity_v and give us your best theories because we might use them for a future video. Thanks.